I'm very sorry for the struggle on that technology, but actually it gives a good impression of what kind of field I'm working in. Because this is what I'm doing. Running a technology company, facing the fact that technology is always there and it's not working, but at the end you have to come up with a solution. And this is actually what we do. And this is actually what we do as a service when it comes to virtual reality. You might ask, okay, what is actually Swisscom doing to make them capable of talking about virtual reality? That's not what I'm here for. That's what my colleague is doing tomorrow in his speech when it comes to some thoughts about the future of virtual reality and augmented reality. I got invited to talk about business and how to approach a business when it comes to virtual reality. And you might be surprised how we did it. I'm not an academic. Hell no. I'm actually, all my life, been in the entertainment industry, in the event industry, in the marketing industry. This is how I look on the business side. And if some of you might get a little inspiration how we managed to provide all those services we started pretty much about 3 years ago, I'm actually happy with the day. It's actually also very difficult to run a speech when you have so much passion, creativity, and technology understanding, and then coming up with talking about business case, which actually is kind of annoying. So next one, please. Since when it comes to business, I have to talk about numbers. Each presentation has to bring in a cat. I missed on that, but I managed to bring in some numbers. I wanted to give you an impression what I think, what those numbers are worth. So first of all, if you're thinking about a business or approaching your business, a business proposal or a business case or whatever, or a business idea to a corporate, to your personal boss, to venture capitalist, whoever, doesn't matter, do not talk about what's already been done, because all you say is, this is what we all missed. So it's nothing worth. It's nothing worth. Doesn't say anything. Then, the forecast. I mean, as you can see, Digital Capital is a very well-known company doing very great work in projecting, okay, how is actually that business here in virtual reality or augmented reality going to develop? I mean, be very cautious what kind of numbers you want to present, because still, nobody can present, me, never ever has been capable of presenting me a business case which has been actually turned out the right exactly way it has presented at the beginning, because the business case is always completely different once you're in the business. Always. Never been different. Volume. Look at those numbers. 133 billion or 110 billion. This actually differs quite a bit. We agree on that, right? It's quite a bit. It's a huge number, but the 2020 came in about March from Digital Capital. Just recently, the number for 2021 came by a newsletter from UK. So as you see, so what kind of number gives you any hint of running into that business? So after all I'm saying is, if you want to jump into the business, if you want to approach a business, it doesn't have to be with virtual reality. It could be with drones, with any kind of technology. It could be any business. Do not start with a business case. Never. Don't come up with a business case. I know some of the venture capitalists, I'm one of them, might not agree. But if you start to come up and think on a business case, you're probably going to find out you're not going to succeed. This is how we did it, please. 3 years ago, I didn't understand anything about virtual reality. I think I still don't understand a lot compared to you guys. I just had a great team doing digital media production. They come up and said, hey, we need some money. I go like, okay, what do you want to do? Is we need to go into virtual reality. I go like, well, we're not going to earn any money with that. I don't believe in that technology. They said, believe us, we have a vision. They presented some ideas, one slide, no numbers. And then I just said, okay, there's a little money, do something with it. This is what happened. It's kind of cool, because I have a company saying, we produce the first live VR production out of a concert for Live Nation. Well, the thing is, I worked for Live Nation, but we did it over a year before. They managed to do that. We've been the first one. And you know what? It's cool to say that. It makes the people proud, and they really did a hell of a job, but it has no value. There's no business. Why? You did it, and once you did it, it's over. You cannot bring it a second or a third time. It was a marketing gag. It was a marketing gag because of the company who actually paid some money for it, had a simple booth, and you have several thousand people in the venue, but I mean, very few can actually experience it. So there's a very little money to make in that. So you can make some press relations for the sponsor. It was probably okay, but you're probably going to do it 3 or 4 times, and then the business is gone. Brings me to that points, please. Even yesterday, you had several talks with people having a great solution. It's really, I admire how, I mean, people with a chair, I probably would love to try out. We have some great stuff to experience here. But what makes me feel a little bad is they always tell me what they do and how they did it. And I keep on saying, I don't care. Why? All I'm interested, all a venture capitalist or a corporate is interested in, how can you, the solution, the technology, help me, my company, us, to be more successful for our business. That's all that matters when you want to jump into the business. What you do, not interesting. How you did it, nobody cares. What's the value out of it? That's important. And never propose. I just did it seconds ago. Never propose you've been the first, because there's no value. And do not, experienced that yesterday, do never ever say you're the best, because you're not. Nobody is. At least tomorrow you're second anyway, depending what kind of competition you're in. And it has still no value, because for the guy actually using your solution, needing your solution, integrating your solution, is probably not interested in having the best company or the first company. They're interested in a partner helping them to get more successful. That's all that matters. And now look at me. I just told you I'm not a technology geek. I'm actually very interested in technology, but you all understand way more from technology than I do, which is probably not that bad for me running a business, because otherwise I would have technology talks all the time. But people coming up to me or us and want to make a proposal should not talk about technology. Help me to understand what's the experience, what's the value for the consumer, for our clients, and then you get my attention, please. This is what my team actually managed. I'm still impressed. That was about a year or more ago, because we figured out we have to come up with something else. And in no time, this is just event. I mean, it's way not as complicated as some stuff I saw yesterday when it comes to neuroscience. But for us in the event industry, it was kind of cool. To have a concert on a live stream where everybody actually could have different positions. We already did that also in sports for the Ski World Championships in St. Moritz just recently. So you can actually have access to content, live content, wherever you are, in positions you will never be capable of even if you're live right next to your backstage, stuff like that. Now you have a business, because people would be willing to pay for it if they get the access to the platform, and now you have an access to a community. But we all know the community is not as big. Even if you think, well, virtual reality, everybody is into virtual reality, that's just us. The majority on that planet is pretty much a little bit behind. Next, please. That's why we believe we have to make sure that the people can have access to a very simple platform business where they can find anything they're interested in, and not having about 2,000 apps on their smartphones or on computers at home. Very easy accessible, which is actually pretty much the same thing the Googles, the Facebooks, and all the other great companies are doing right now, making it accessible. That's all that matters. This is what my colleague actually is tomorrow talking about that initiative a little bit more. If you're interested, you're welcome to join Samuel Hefty. This is our next project. Next, please. Because we think we have to bring in more value. Huh? Thank you. Because when I talk to the community, I mean, where's the business? The business is in a great community, in a big community, and the community today, it doesn't exist already. So you have to wait for that community. As we all know, technology, actually, it's still on. Even if you had some virtual reality experience already in the 50s, if you talk about the Sensorama, by example, it's still on the very beginning or not in the middle or somewhere. You see the red stripe here. It's at the beginning. in a couple of years, we probably will experience that virtual reality has a value for everybody. Today, it has not, because it's too complicated. It's too nerdy. But it's important to get started. That's the reason why I love to have all those great technology guys here and working on great solutions. And we have evolved, again, the neuroscience stuff, how to reduce pain. It's fantastic, but we are nowhere. Now you have corporates or venture capitalists say, well, let's just wait, the market is not ready. I can assure you have to convince the corporates like also Swisscom, like us. You should not wait to start. You should start right now, because if you have the chance to jump into the market when the market is ready, it's going to be very expensive. You have to buy a company for billions of dollars, or you just lose the track. So you should just get started. And the next slide, please. Also, waiting till the community is ready. It's a failure, because you have to grow with the community. That's how we believe to get attached to the business. Because the community is telling you what they want. The community is telling you how they like the technology, how they like to use it. And this is why we believe waiting till the community is big enough to have some scale effects, which is nowadays not the case already in most of the business cases I've seen so far, will be a huge failure. So grow with the community instead of waiting, and jump into technology and build solutions, even if the market is not as ready as it will be probably in about 3 years. Next, please. And this is actually it. Remember Google. Those guys, they didn't want to make a business at the beginning. I don't know them in person, by example. We just work a little bit with Google as a partner, but all they wanted is making the people's life a little bit easier with technology. They wanted to have an access to the internet by finding the stuff the people were looking for on a very easy way. And obviously, they managed that very well. So whatever you do when it comes to the business, it starts with the passion and not with the business case. Brings me to the beginning, brings me closer to the plane, brings you to the lunch. Thank you very much. That's it.